Elijah, can you kind of walk us through last Saturday playing without all your fingers? What was that experience like?
It was a little different, obviously. My first time playing with a club or anything like that, so it was a little different. It kind of took me like a quarter to kind of get into the groove and stuff, and I felt like I did all right with it. Always gonna be a little hard on myself. Could have did a little better, but
Yeah, I don't know. Can you kind of specify like what makes it more complicated? I'm just saying with not having a finger.
just like I guess the cast is really thick. It's like it's a very thick cast, so and they have a lot of cushion around it, which makes it easier on the impact. So like as far as impact and hitting, striking, like there was no problem. I guess just like getting used to having like it kind of weighs a lot, not a lot, but it's just it's a big like a heavy pillow, So it's just like having that, and you just like running around with it, and then like trying to make tackles with it. It's just a little different. So I'd probably say like just a tackling piece, and just but take an extra step, put your shoulder on it, it'll be fine.
Calandria was a very mobile quarterback, but
Yeah.
the defensive line seemed to handle him pretty well, getting 9 sacks. Can you just talk about the overall performance from the defensive line?
Yeah, man, he was a tough guy to bring down. He would like feel us probably like in the first read, and he would be gone. So he was he was a headache, man, and we knew that all week. He wasn't that wasn't the first time he'd done that. I'm pretty sure he's done that against every team he's played against. But we know as a D-line, if we could rush as a team, have our gap integrity, have our gas feel, he's gonna have to run into somebody. So
Kind of going all the way back to that first game against Nevada, where their mobile quarterback kind of gave you guys some problems. How have you seen defense grow to the point where you're able to keep a quarterback like that a little more silent when we start the game?
Yeah, man, of course, I guess for us it was kind of a good thing that it happened early, seeing a running quarterback, because, other teams, it's a copycat league. Other teams are going to try to duplicate that and take the QB draws and the QB, power reads or whatever it may be. So it's just having that happen to us early, and then having a coach like Simons who knows, our weaknesses, our strengths, and then we just build off that. So just having that, and then, just being like gap sound, gap integrity, we played Nevada week 0, so it was kind of just, getting back into the groove of things, rushing as a defense, having the D-line, everybody has to be on one accord. Against mobile quarterbacks, if everybody isn't doing their job up front, like a good quarterback's going to find that crease, he's going to hit it every time. So.
Coach Lashley talked after the game, he said that you guys don't care who gets the credit. And after the Virginia game, and really every game this season, it's been different guys across the defensive line getting the sacks and the pressures. Can you just talk about the sort of like chemistry and cohesion you have with that group?
I think it's just like Coach Redd said, it's just like the selflessness that we have as a group. Like everybody came in from the spring to the summer, and it's just like the bond we build. Like we hang out every week. We go out with Tibbs every week. So it's just having that happen. Off the field, just like like that's really my brother who's making that play. So him making that play, it just like off rip is gonna make me get excited. Because like I really know this guy. Like I really love this guy next to me. So it's like having that, and it's not just us up front. It's the linebackers, it's the DBs, it's the corners, it's the safety. So it's just it's every position group. And then even when we come in here and meet as a defense, like there's never a dull moment with this group. We're always laughing, joking, having fun. And then when it's time to lock in, we lock in. So
without revealing too much, what is it about the way that Coach Simon sets up this defense that makes it so it can be so overwhelming for other teams?
I would say, without talking about just like scheme and stuff, he really just like trusts us, like I said before, like there's so many older dudes in this defense and guys who played in this defense, even the newer guys, like they were able to grasp it early just because there's so many leaders. Like every new guy who came in, he didn't have to come in and just automatically take that leadership role because there was already leaders in the group. So there's already, the McGills, the Kobe Wilsons, the Ahmad Walkers, you got me, you got Corey Robertson. So you got dudes who could bring dudes along, and then on top of that, Coach Simons knows, we got ballers. So, it's like he knows he doesn't have to like overcomplicate things. Call what we're gonna call and we're gonna get it done, So
looking like the last home game, it's still possible there's another home game here, but going into your senior day, what are these years at SMU meant to you?
That's crazy, man. Even talking with the guys yesterday, bro, it's just telling them like I think I might shed a tear this weekend, man. It's just been crazy. Like these 2 years have felt like 4, and it's just been so great. Like on the field, off the field, just like the brotherhood I built, the coaches who trusted me and believed in me, and just like the relationship that I have with them. Like I know for sure, like these guys, between coaches, staff members, and players, like these guys will be in my life forever. It'll probably be 50 to 100 of these guys on my wedding. So I just love this team, and I love these guys so much, and I really don't want it to end, but it has to.
I know you've been here a couple of years, but it feels like this year this team has really just bonded again, of course the defensive line, but really as a team, how much has that led, do you think, to the success this team has had?
I think that's everything, every team has good players, every team has good coaches, so it's just having that brotherhood and no egos. Like, that's the biggest thing, man, especially like in this day and age with the transfer portal, and you got so many different guys, and guys will be lying if they said they didn't have personal goals. Everybody has personal goals, so but you have to line up your personal goals with the team goals. You know what I'm saying? Like, even for me, for instance, like, this isn't my best year, but like it's lining up with my team goals. So honestly, that trumps everything else. You know what I'm saying? So just having that and just like seeing the success of the team and where we can go and where we are going, it's just been great.
You guys have talked a lot about the kind of mentality of finishing, whether it's game, play, the finishing mentality is really important, what you guys are doing. Do you feel like you came to SMU with that from your time in Miami, or do you think that's something you had to work on when you got here?
As far as just like finishing the season out, just like finishing everything
season out, finishing the games out, it's something that I feel like coach talked about.
I would say, obviously me individually, if you ask me, I would always say I'm a finisher, but Coach Rhett, man, like, from the time we got here, like, that's all they talked about. Coach Grizz, our strength coach, like, all they talked about is finish. Like, even when we break it down in the locker room, or sometimes we break it down during workouts in the off season, it's always on finish. You know what I'm saying? So that was always, and then like when you hear it, it's just okay, finish. You just break it down to finish. But then when we get into games in the fourth quarter and it's tied up, and you really see why we have to finish, it's like, okay, like that's what Coach Rhett meant, back in fall camp. That's what Coach Grizz meant back in January. So it's just like having those things, like Coach Rhett, Coach Grizz, all the coaches here, like, they install that in us. Even Coach Tiff, he tells us every day, you don't win the game unless you're in the fourth quarter, or you can't win the game until the fourth quarter. So he always instills that into us. So we know, man, it's all about the finish. All about the finish.
Did you overlap with Fernando Mendoza?
Yeah,
back in high school?
Fernando's my guy. He was there my last year. He actually played for us a little bit. Our starting quarterback got hurt a little bit that year, so he played for us. He was my quarterback for a few games. Fernando's a great guy. He's humble, very, very, a very respectable dude. I don't expect him to come in here and even trash talk a little bit. That's just the type of guy he is. Very energetic, and I'm really happy to see like what he's been doing at Cal, man. Because I know coming out of high school, he wasn't really looked at like that. Even my coaches would tell me at my high school, man, like, he needs to get looked at. Like, this kid's gonna be good, and we can see that it's paying off for him for sure.
You know, say what makes him so difficult, what you've seen on tape.
Oh man, he could pick apart his zone like anybody. You can't just sit back and give him those free windows. He gets the ball out really quick, and I don't know, people kind of underestimate his running, man. He can run. Like, if you give him those gaps between the A's and B's, man, like, he will hit it, and he will hit it for 20, 30 yards, man. So he could break you down, man. He could beat you deep. He could throw it deep. He could throw it short. He could pick apart the zones. He could find the mismatches in the man coverage. So he's a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you guys.